Hello, welcome to my channel. My name is Amanda and I am the dyer behind Birch and Lily Fiber Co. This is my channel all about knitting and cross stitch. Today I have a regular podcast episode for you, going through everything I have worked on over the past couple weeks. Today is October 4th, 2021, and yeah, I'm excited to show you what I've been working on today. I have some finished objects, I have a couple works in progress, but before I jump on in, there are a couple places you can find me on the internet. My website is birchandlilyfiber.com, as well as Instagram at birch.and.lily. TikTok at the same handle, and I also have Ravelry and Lovecrafts available as well. Everything will be linked down below in the description if you're interested. So let's jump on in. First off, with something that I promised you guys last episode, I finished off my Luminaria Shawl number 2 last episode, but I didn't have time to block it. So I have it blocked now, and I figure I will give you guys a peek at that. So what I'm gonna do is try and pop a screenshot up on the screen somewhere of about what the shawl looked like last time. I was looking for it earlier. I don't have one perfectly of the shawl held out, but I think it will still give you a general idea of the difference that blocking makes on a project. So I just pulled this off of the blocking mats this afternoon because I'm slow and forgot to put it up or to block it in general until yesterday. But it did dry really fast because it is quite an airy project. So, as you can see, since you can't see my face, this has grown a lot compared to last time. And blocking, move closer again, and blocking really opened up this lace on the bottom and made it really pretty. So, very important to block. Doesn't have to be crazy, tons of pinning. I really didn't put many pins in this at all, to be honest. The only thing that I was really conscious about pinning was this lace so that it had the really pretty shape at the bottom. But I did not bother pinning down every single bobble, or picot, I guess. Didn't bother with that. Otherwise, general shape at the top. I think I had maybe 6 pins across the top just holding it in place, and look how beautiful it looks. Last time, and I don't think I caught this on video, but I remember the last time I recorded, I tried putting this on after, and these like ends, when it was wrapped around, stopped about here. So it grew quite a bit. And it's so squishy and pretty, and I might as well keep it on for the rest of the episode. We'll see. We'll see if I overheat. But yeah, general info on what blocking is, if you're new, if you've never blocked before. All it is once you're finished a project, you soak it in some water. Sometimes people will put in a little bit of wool wash, which is nice, but not necessary in the slightest. But you soak it in water for about 15-20 minutes or so, take it out, squeeze out as much water as you possibly can, and then you just lay it out to dry and pin it into the shape that you want it to dry into. Very simple, but it really helps all of the stitches lay really nicely, open up nicely. Lace, this is the back side, but lace like this will open up a lot nicer than it looks when you're just knitting, and overall it just helps give the project a better finished look. So yeah, hopefully that makes sense. I didn't really have notes on explaining that, so I was kind of winging it, and we'll see. If you have any questions, you can always ask me down below in the comments though, so feel free. So I do have one other finished object to show you. Last episode I had cast on a pair of Cirrus Socks, patterned by Helen Stewart of Curious Handmade, and they're done. I was really enjoying knitting these. I think mostly because it's only patterning up here in the leg, and once you move down into the foot, it is all stockinette. So it was a really quick, easy knit for when I wasn't really wanting to pay attention, but I still wanted to knit. So they went really fast, and I'm really excited. I did knit these up as a gift knit for Christmas. So I cast on 64 stitches for these on 2.25mm needles, which is a US 1. I did a 2x2 rip, so knit 2, purl 2, and followed the pattern for the leg. I did not do as many pattern repeats as called for. I just wanted like a mid-calf length sock. This is a slip stitch heel flap and gusset. The pattern does call for this. And then yeah, the foot is stuck in it. I did just a straight up wedge toe, and I'm really happy with these. So yarn. This here is from Birchandlily Fiber Co. This is our colorway called Heirloom Pumpkins. There is still a little bit of it left in the shop. If you are interested, no pressure, of course. But this is our fingering weight base, which is called Birch Sock. This is a 80-20 base, which means 80% superwash merino, 20% nylon. And it is perfect for socks, for shawls, anything you could ever desire. Yeah, I won't plug it too much, but love these Cirrus Socks. Something great, or a great pattern rather, for a beginner for sure. Or if you really just want some good TV movie knitting, highly recommend. And I'm getting too warm already, so I'm taking the shawl off. Okay, so that is everything I have finished object-wise. I do have a couple works in progress that I've worked on. I found lately I've really been much more of a monogamous knitter. I haven't really been working on a whole bunch of different projects at the same time, so just a few things, but some really fun stuff. So first project is here in this bag from Birch Grove. Beautiful floral pattern. And drawstring. I find I do prefer drawstring bags as opposed to a zippered bag because I can't zip the yarn up into it, which is something I tend to do a lot. So I'm still really enjoying working on shorty socks, and this is another pair here. These are called, ooh, blowing out. I hold it, there we go. These are called the Pretty Song Socks. This is a pattern by Summerly Design Co. It is written to be like a calf length sock, but I did convert these into shorties. And if you're interested on how to do that, it is the easiest thing in the world. All I do is I knit 5 rounds of the cuff. So for this I did a 1x1 twisted rib, and then I go straight into the heel flap. And you got yourself the perfect pair of shorties. It's so easy to do, and I find you get the joy of knitting a pair of socks, but without all the time. I don't know, it just makes it go so much faster, and I really like that. So I've been knitting a lot of shorties lately. Anyways, Pretty Song Socks by Summerly Design Co. I did do the called for heel flap and gusset. Oh, I wish this wasn't blowing out so much. Yeah, called for a heel flap and gusset. Like I said, I moved into the foot right away, and it's just this really pretty lacy pattern. Not too hard at all. This little guy here, Piglet, this is from Random Fandom Bags. Of course, for some reason he's turning around backwards. She makes really cute progress keepers. I love them a lot. Let's see what else. I cast these on 2.25mm needles, my usual. These are 64 stitch socks. To be honest, I feel like I could have knit these as a 56 stitch pair of socks. They're feeling a little loose. And actually, now that I say that, I did this last episode too, but the Cirrus Socks that I showed you just previous to this were not 64 stitches, they were 56. I have found my gauge has loosened up a lot with my knitting, and that I have been able to drop down to a 56 stitch pair of socks, and they fit about the same as a 64 stitch pair of socks used to, if that makes sense. So yeah, I think I could have got away with 56 stitches for this and it would have been fine. But it is what it is. I do not know why this is blowing out so much. Apologies, I don't know what is going on with my lighting today. This is a disaster. There, that looks, we'll see if it stays like that though. So yeah, I have one sock finished. I think this is just gonna be the way it's gonna be today. Sorry guys. I don't know what is going on. Sorry, I'm looking at my monitor here. And it just is not cutting it. Hopefully I can fix this a little bit when I edit later, but this just might be what it is. I don't know what's going on. Anyways, the first sock is finished and I have cast on the second. And I am completely done decreasing for the gusset, so my heel flap is totally in. And when you put your heel flap in, you create extra stitches, and I have completely decreased all of those stitches, and I'm back down to the normal amount that I cast on for the sock, which was 64. So yeah, working away on this. I probably have about 4 or 5 pattern repeats left before I'll put the toe in, and yeah, really liking these. This is probably what I've been working on the most in the past couple weeks once I finished those Cirrus socks. The Cirrus socks were definitely the first thing that I was working on tons, and now I have moved on to these pretty song socks. So enjoying these. These again are going to be going into my Christmas knitting box. I really haven't decided who's getting what with the Christmas knitting, but I'm just kind of knitting away. Most of the people that I do gift knitting to at Christmas have the same size feet, so it's pretty easy for me to just like knit a whole bunch of stuff and then decide later who's getting what. So that's kind of what I'm doing right now. So I have worked on one cross stitch project. Believe it or not, I only worked on it last night. I haven't pulled it out at all otherwise, but I did pull out Jane Cowey. It's in this really cute bag from Pretty Southern, and this is a reproduction sampler. So basically someone, in this case the Scarlett house, has taken a sampler that a girl stitched years and years ago and reproduced it for us to be able to stitch. So I'm using all of the called for silk threads for this project. Some very pretty colors. These are all NPI silks. And this is actually my first ever silk project, so that's kind of fun. I'm stitching this up here. This is 46 count cream. This is also my first time stitching on 46 count. And this is where I am. So not tons done. I'm still working away on the first page. But if you remember the last time I showed this, I had got a whole bunch done on this project and then realized that I had, oh here it is, made a huge mistake in my counting, and I had to start over. There was no way that I could have made like fudged it. It was a mistake in the border at the very beginning, and I literally would have had to reconfigure the whole pattern, and it just was not worth it to me. So I started over, and I have different stuff done than last time, but like I would say I'm basically caught up now, so that's kind of exciting. Last night I did all of this, and I think I did all of that and that. Most of that flower stuff in the middle of the border there I did last night, so that's kind of fun. But I'm really enjoying it. It's so pretty. 46 count, I really don't find that much of a difference stitching on it compared to 40 count, so that's good. I'm stitching this one thread over 2 linen threads. And yeah, I like it a lot. It's really fun. It's another one of those long going projects. I'm going to be working on it forever, but it's okay. It is what it is. As long as I'm enjoying it, that's really all I care about. So yeah, that is Jane Cowey by the Scarlett house. And finally, something that I did show last episode is my dotted, rogue needle, is my dotted race shawl. This is a pattern by Stephen West. I have it here in another Birch Grove bag. This is my large sized one. I only have one of these, but I love it a lot. And let's see. It's getting big enough that I can't really spread it out on the needles anymore, but here we go. So last time all I had done was this purple section here at the very bottom. So I've added in 2 more colors as I'm covering my face, but it is what it is. And this whole shawl is worked with short rows. The pattern does have a special way of doing short rows, which I really like. It is the easiest way of doing short rows I've ever done in my whole life. If you are intimidated by short rows, I would recommend trying this pattern out as a way to kind of get familiar with them. Yeah, it's really easy. But I love this so much, and it's so simple. It's literally all garter stitch with the odd yarn over and slip knit, and that is it. So pretty. I could not tell you where this Progress Keeper is from. Possibly Simply Serving. It is a little pumpkin macaron. It's very cute. I say everything's very cute, but that's okay. And as for this yarn, this is all from Farmer's Daughter Fibers. This was a kit I purchased from her years and years ago. It was originally made to knit up What the Fade by Andrea Mowry, which I never ended up using it for. I changed my mind and used something else, and this has been sitting around in my stash. So none of these colors have names, but I do know that they are all on Farmer's Daughter Fibers single space. So if that gives you a little bit of an idea. But yeah, none of them have names. There are 3 other colors in the fade that I will be adding in eventually, which I have not wound up yet. I'm gonna keep them in this bag now, actually, while I'm thinking of it. But yeah, I really don't have tons to say about this because it is literally just garter stitch and yarn overs. But I'm sure I'll have popped a picture up on the screen of what the finished project will look like. I just really like how simple it is and thoughtless, and it's been really fun. So yeah, let's see, needle size, what am I using for this? I am, why can I not find the number? These are US 4, a 3.5 millimeter needle. That is, I think, what the pattern calls for. Don't quote me on it though. And I am going to stitch up the largest size that, or knit up rather, the largest size that the pattern does come with. So the extra large, I think. There's about 16 wedges in it, I think, is what it is. Which you would not understand unless you were knitting the pattern yourself. So it doesn't really matter. I'm making the largest size. I want to be able to use up as much of this yarn as I possibly can. So yeah, that is that project. And as always, as it seems lately, this episode is really short and I apologize for that, but I just, yeah, I've been a really monogamous knitter lately. Do keep an eye out though. I've been really bad at posting on Instagram lately. And as I'm filming this, I want to post on Instagram, but Instagram is currently down and not working. So just my luck. But I will be posting soon some sneak peeks of the colors I am looking to use for my Christmas collection of yarn. I'm going to be making some sock sets as well as probably some single skeins. We will see. But I'm really looking forward to doing that. I've been working on that, and I do have pretty pictures of all of these projects that I want to post on there as well, but I haven't had the time the past week, and now Instagram is down. So is what it is. Anyways, if you liked what you saw today, please consider subscribing and hitting the like button. I would love it a lot. It would help me out a lot. And I will see you all in the next one. Bye!